Welcome to Mystic Bee Spiritual Insights and happy almost Valentine's Day. I'm Anna Marie, your host, and just thank you so much for tuning in. So tonight we're going to share a few general messages. I'll talk a little bit about the universal energy of Valentine's Day. Tomorrow, for most of us, there might be a couple of our friends on the other hemisphere that are already into their Valentine's Day, but we'll cover that and then we'll take a couple of callers. So just remember, if for some reason you don't get a live reading, you can always book a session through my Facebook page or on mysticbee.com, and you can always connect with one of the other great psychics in the AR1 Psychic Radio Network. So tomorrow for Valentine's Day, if we look at all of the numbers that make up February 14th, 2025, it's actually a 7-day. So this 7 number, and we've talked about it a couple of times in another show, is really about truth, reflection, and spiritual alignment. So this is really an opportunity just on the topic of love of all types. It's just an opportunity for you to go just a little bit deeper, not think about things just in a romantic sort of way, but just really think about how you're showing up in relationships of all kinds. If for some reason your love in life has felt uncertain or it's not necessarily going in the direction that you're hoping, just think about this energy of the 7 and truth and alignment and really focus on following your intuition. Look for those things that align with your values, sit well with you, and that really serve your highest good. And remember, love really is the highest vibration. So you really need to embody love, right, in all of its forms to receive it. So just bring your best self to your relationships, and those things will be drawn and attract to you in good measure. So, speaking of love and appreciation, I have just a couple of call outs that I'd like to make before we dive into our readings. One, just generally, I want to thank all of the people that have tuned in and offered just direct feedback, reached out to me, engaged on the Facebook page. I really appreciate your support, tuning in, and all of the encouragement. I just want to make sure that this time is valuable to you and that I'm offering something positive when you're giving me all this time and energy. So uh, thank you for that. I also want to call out just a couple of top fans. I'm not going to do full names, but I have 2 people in particular that I'd like to call out. We got Denise L. and Linda R. You have been top fans for a couple of weeks now. I just want to say thank you for all the engagement and support you're offering. And I will be reaching out to gift you a free reading. If you'd like to use it for yourself, you're welcome to do that, or you can also gift it to someone else. And then finally, I just want to say thanks to our A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV team for their ongoing support. Now I've been doing this a month, but they've been really great to me, and I wouldn't be able to be here and share these messages with all of you without them. So thank you. So as far as general messages, I think last week you may remember I do receive some general messages before I come into the show. Last week was really unusual because I had a lot of very specific names. I don't have all the names this time around, but I just have a couple of general messages that I want to share. And as always, if it resonates with you, I would love to get that feedback. If for some reason you think it's meant for someone else that you know or that's close to you, please just reflect on that and consider passing it along if you think that's the right thing to do. So generally speaking, I have the name Devin or Darren, and I'm getting an old Anne Marie song. Um, I I don't know the connection there, but that was really all I was getting about Devin or Darren. I have Andy or Andrew that's a hardcore AC/DC fan. I can literally see the AC/DC shirt that was like a regular part of the wardrobe. Unfortunately, I feel like there's someone that has passed away too young. So whether it's Andy or it's someone connected to Andy that's the AC/DC fan, my condolences. But energy and spirit is positive and uplifting. I am not fluent in Spanish. I took 4 years in high school, did okay, never had the confidence to speak it. But for some odd reason, I have an older woman. She feels like a grandmother to me that's speaking Spanish energetically. I just feel the message is intended for a granddaughter, not to worry. Obviously, there's a lot of folks that are Catholic, but I do feel this energy about the grandmother watching over the granddaughter and lighting a candle. And then the final kind of general message is I have a mother that has a daughter that is interested in the performing arts, maybe considering or trying to go to school in New York. I see dance. I also hear a violin, and I would just say this is part of her journey. And even though it may not seem very likely that she can do this, please continue to encourage her pursuing these passions and talents that she has. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and jump in. We have Anna from Calgary, Alberta. And so, Anna, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. Happy almost Valentine's Day, and thanks for joining.
You too. Thank you.
I like to ask if there is a specific question you wanted to delve into, or do you want a general reading? How can I be helpful?
Let's just do a general reading just to see
Okay.
what comes up.
Okay, just give me a minute here. I do feel like there's some relationship on your mind, but I feel like there's some other complicated things happening in your life right now. Um, it, so I'm getting just energetically, I'm getting two fronts. I feel like you want to ask questions about relationships, maybe in the spirit of Valentine's Day, but there's something separate that feels like it's going on that may have something to do with a father figure or a family member. Does that make sense for you?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know. I feel like there's some distance. It feels like it's your dad. Is this your dad specifically?
Yes.
So I feel that there is some sort of distance. It feels like there's emotional distance that I'm getting most of all. So I don't know if there was a period of time that you weren't able to see each other, or if geographically he's at a distance, but I also feel the emotional distance. Um, it feels like you were literally daddy's girl at one point, but something has gone kind of off the rails over a period of time. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Um, I feel what I'm sensing, Anna, is that you're just struggling on how to manage or how to deal with him. And here's what I'm going to say. And again, this is just energetically what I'm getting from him. I don't want to be disrespectful in how I describe some personality traits. Um, I don't think he means to be so distant or emotionally, I'm going to say shut down. He does have some personality flaws, as we all do. I feel like he's a little extra controlling and may not be the best communicator. But I feel like you just need to accept that this is the personality that your dad has. It's not going to change.
Okay.
And you need to love him for who he is, despite his shortcomings. Does this make sense for
Okay.
you?
Yes.
Okay. So what I want to do is I want to encourage you to just, and I have struggles in my own family. I mean, I think most of us do at some point, but I really want to encourage you, Anna, just, try to look at him not as a family member, but look at him as just an older man, older neighbor. Just give him the consideration, the grace, and the type of outreach that you would offer to just another human, because I think you are a very kind, open-hearted person. And I think if you try to look through that lens, you won't have as much of the baggage, right, that's stopping you from interacting with him. But don't feel guilty either about the boundaries that you've set because I feel like some of the distance is also you just won't accept some of his behavior. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Y Yeah. So, it's okay to have those boundaries. It's okay to shut off conversations. It's okay not to visit or not have him in your energetic space, but just try to look through the lens of he's just another human on this earth trying to make his way. You guys were paired as souls for lessons, and sometimes we get to pick our family and sometimes we don't. Um, just try to look at him through another lens because I just don't think the situation is not going to change by his efforts. Okay. This is really about
Okay.
how you frame how to interact with him, if that makes sense for you.
It does make sense.
Okay. I also feel like I want to just say separately, I feel like there is some sort of recognition or award. Um, I feel like there's just some recognition or accolades or award or something for you professionally, and I don't know if it's just happened, um, but it almost feels like you regularly are acknowledged for your good work, but I feel like there's something coming up. Are you aware of something coming up professionally where you're getting an award or you're being recognized for something?
No, I'm not,
Okay.
but that's
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah, well, if you're not, I just feel like you're a hard worker, and I feel like you're often kind of behind the scenes and, you don't always brag about yourself, but I feel like there's some sort of recognition coming. It doesn't feel quite like a promotion, but it definitely feels like accolades that is publicly known, to other people, and it's a good boost for you. So I hope that comes, and I hope it comes at the perfect time.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Is this helpful for you?
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you dialing in. I hope you can join again next week. And feel free to reach out to me by Facebook or um, the website, mystic-b.com, if you want to continue diving into this conversation.
Okay, awesome. So what was the website?
It's mystic-b.com.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. So, hopefully, just reflecting on callers as Anna, and I understand her name is also Anna Marie, which is lovely. How lucky am I to get to speak to someone with my name? But as you can see, there are lots of challenges that we have in family and relationships. And again, just on the topic of love, it is really important that we look at it more holistically, just about how we're interacting with ourselves, with our friends, our family, our community, with nature. And just know it's not something that we just seek, right? To boost ourselves and have accolades and inflate our egos. This is really something that we create within ourselves. And we have to start by looking at kind of some of those golden rules about, treating others the way we want to be treated, trying to get into alignment, be kind to ourselves, have kind self talk, but also just how we're extending ourselves energetically in the world around us. And often those conflicts and friction come most with the people that we love deeply. They're our mates, our children, our parents, our siblings. So be gracious with yourself. But sometimes, if it's really difficult relationships, don't be afraid to kind of just put on another set of glasses, try to look at them as humans, not as family members or loved ones. And sometimes that can get you through a few moments. So we are going to move into our next call, and I believe we have Suzanne.
Yep.
Suzanne, can you hear me okay?
Hello. Yeah. Hi. Thank you.
I'm so lucky that I'm getting two Canadians back to back. I have to tell you, my mother, I tell her if we were a communist country, she would defect to Canada. She loves everything about Canada. has all the little moose stuffed animals in her RV. It plays "Oh Canada" on the horn. So it's lovely to have you, Suzanne. So
Thank you.
would you like a general reading, or is there a particular topic that you'd like to dive into, Suzanne?
You know what? Just a general reading is great. That'd be
Okay,
fine. Yep.
you seem pretty easygoing.
I I am. I try to be.
I love that. You
Thank you.
know, it's interesting, kind of energetically. I feel like not only are you drawn to metaphysics and, this spirituality, but I feel like you have your own really strong intuition. So I don't know if you read cards. I feel like you have some sort of divining or tools or something where you practice your own psychic skills. Does this make sense for you?
I I don't.
Yes.
I You are correct. I don't practice anything per se. But I am very intuitive. Yeah. I am. I would say I'm more of an empath, but I also am, I guess, a medium. So yeah,
Yep.
it's in our
Yeah,
it's in our family. So,
yeah, and if you don't have specific tools that you use, it doesn't matter to me, but I can tell that you have these psychic skills, right? It's beyond a curiosity for you that you actually have these abilities. Um, I
yeah.
don't know that, and when I say practicing them, like I said, even if you're not using tools, I think you deliver messages whether you realize it or not. So um,
I do.
don't be
I
shy.
do.
Just
Yes.
keep,
Yeah.
yeah, keep delivering your messages. It's really important, just that we follow our intuition and we be of service, right, to humanity. So I know I'm preaching to the choir here. So let's get on to a couple of other things. Um, I don't, and I try to be mindful of topics also because we're sort of in this public space. So I'm going to tiptoe a little bit, just as far as people around you. So I'm just going to say I have male energy around you, that it does feel like that there is, and I don't know if they're in recovery and they got off the bandwagon. I'm not quite sure. It feels like it's an alcohol issue, that they've struggled with, at least historically, that may kind of be rearing its head again. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Um. I not. I'm going to be honest. Not really.
Okay, that's
There's no
okay.
one
That's
that
okay.
I know of.
Okay.
Sorry.
So no, don't apologize. You don't, I can misinterpret things. Again, we're human. I'm interpreting all kinds of signals. I'm just going to kind of repeat it again, because I want it to be clear in what I'm putting out there because I'm going to move past that. Okay. So again, this is male energy around you, and it feels like
Uh huh.
they had, right, a drinking problem, an issue with alcohol
Oh,
abuse,
can,
and they are in
can I?
recovery.
I'm for. Can I? Can I just interrupt you a little bit? I cannot. Your. I think it's your phone or it could be mine. Breaking up. Like I can't. I can't really hear you very well. Sorry. It's kind of breaking up. Sorry.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think it
your
might be
phone is
on
breaking
your
up.
end.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not my phone. If for some reason we lose you, I can only encourage you, just reach out to me on Facebook or the mystic-b.com website, and I'd be happy to finish the message. I'll give it one more minute. Let me know. Can you hear me okay?
Okay. A little bit. Yeah.
All right.
Go
Okay.
ahead. Yeah.
So we might have to, yeah, I'll tell you what, Suzanne, I'm going to finish delivering the messages that I have, and you can also listen to this on replay. So even if you can't interact with me, I'll finish the messages that I have, as best I can. So I just want to mention the connection that I have is that the male energy around you. I know it doesn't resonate right now with you, but I want to focus on this because I think it connects to future events. Um, Male energy, it feels like it's someone in recovery that may be struggling. So I don't know if this is a male friend or coworker. I get sort of platonic energy, or it could be a sibling, or an in-law, but it feels like a male that is sort of at the same similar age, kind of a peer to you. Um, so I would just say if you think that there's someone that has been in recovery and maybe this is a hard time of year for them, especially if they've lost a loved one or perhaps they're alone or not in a relationship, I want to encourage you to just reach out to them, because you are an empath, and you are used to deliver encouraging messages to others. I think that there's some meaning there that you can provide. I would also say separately, I sense some travel that you may be taking sometime in the near future. Um, it feels like it may be something that you do alone or maybe with one other person, but it feels like it's a well deserved time away from, we'll just say, chaotic events and activities kind of in your own life. So I want to encourage you to take that time, but not just as general R&R. I feel like there's some spiritual connection that you're going to find on this trip that is really leading you into some changes in the future. So just be open. If you're planning a trip, it doesn't feel like it's like in the next week or so, but it feels like it's within maybe 3 or 4 weeks. So if there's something on your radar, just be mindful when you're vacationing, we'll say. Just don't lose sight of all of the other universal messages that would be coming your way. Are you still there, Suzanne? Can you hear me any better?
I am. I'm just intrigued. I'm listening very well. Yeah.
Okay. Did it make sense about the travel?
Actually, it's funny you should say that. Yes, we've already booked a travel. It would be early April. It's not a few weeks, but it's about a month and a half. So that's
Okay.
amazing. Yes,
Okay.
and it is
Nice.
something that we are planning to do. We've already booked,
Is it a
and
cruise?
so in the summer, in our RV. So yes,
Okay. Well, good. Yeah, so I just feel like that journey, it's positive, but I think just be mindful of just the universal messages along the way, because I think that you are being called to pursue um, your path. I would say, with these natural gifts that you have, I think that there's more that you're supposed to do with these gifts. I also don't know if
okay.
I don't know if you're connected with younger children, if you work with children, or if it's grandchildren or your own children, but I
We
do get
we have grandchildren. Yes.
okay. Um, but I get that your new path also relates to the children. So if you've thought about changing direction so you can spend more time with the grandchildren, that would make sense. But I also feel it's just your nature. I think it is your nature
Okay.
to be very mothering and nurturing and loving towards children. So I think it's bigger than the grandchildren. Just be open
Okay.
minded. I think that you have lots of interesting things that you're going to start to unveil through these travels.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Does that help
Thank you.
you this evening, Suzanne?
Yes. Yes, it did. Thank you very much.
Great. I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day with your love and enjoy your upcoming travel.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're
Okay,
very
that's great. You too.
all right. Take care. Okay. There we go with Suzanne. Sorry for anyone that may have had some challenging connections on your end. It is that time of year, winter and storms sometimes can connect signals on different ends. But we just want to thank you for tuning in and getting connected. We appreciate the fact that you are open minded and you want to engage and call in and get these messages. And I'm just very honored that I have an opportunity to spend this time with you. Remember, if you did not get a reading today, you can book a private session through mystic-b.com. You can also join next week and try to dial in that way. But stay tuned in to the A1R Psychic Radio Facebook page. That's where you're going to have all of the information about other psychics and how to dial in and submit your name to get readings. Otherwise, just connect through the website. But final notes, just again, the spirit of Valentine's Day, just try to be that which you seek. Think really deeply about love, just in a more grand way, not just a romantic way. And remember that Valentine's Day, it's not just that one day a year. It's not just your birthday. It's not just Christmas. It's not just Valentine's Day. You want to focus on how we are interacting with ourselves and with one another every day throughout the year. So thank you again for joining. It's Anna Marie signing off. I'm going to wish you all lots of love and insight and beautiful energy and a wonderful Valentine's Day tomorrow. Take care, and I'll see you next week.